Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. When a man hurts a good woman, it's not just a little thing. You might think it's small. You might think she'll forgive and forget like it's nothing. But I promise you, a good woman doesn't forget that easily. She remembers. She remembers the promises, the lies, the excuses. She remembers the tears she shed over someone who wasn't worth her love. And I'm here to tell you that memory shapes what comes next. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that a lot of men don't seem to understand, and that is the depth of the pain a good woman carries when she's been hurt by someone she trusted. Now, I'm talking about a woman who gave her heart fully, who showed up in ways you didn't even recognize, who believed in you even when you were unworthy of that kind of faith. When a good woman loves, she doesn't do it halfway. She doesn't hold back. She invests every bit of her soul, her time, her energy, and her dreams into that relationship. And when she's betrayed, when that trust is broken, that pain is not something you see right away. It doesn't scream in the streets. No, it hits her quietly, it hits her deeply, and it lingers in ways that even she sometimes doesn't fully understand. Think about this for a moment. A good woman has this incredible ability to hope. She believes in the best of people, even when they've given her every reason to doubt them. She forgives, she bends, she sacrifices, and she covers the flaws and mistakes of the man she loves. But when that same man turns around and hurts her, it's not just a broken heart, it's a broken trust, a broken spirit, and it shakes the very foundation of who she thought she could rely on. And here's the thing, the pain is silent. A good woman doesn't always scream and shout about her heartbreak. She doesn't plaster her pain for the world to see. Most of the time, she cries in the dark. She questions herself. She asks, was I not enough? Did I love too much? Was my heart too big for him to handle? And those questions, they haunt her. They stay with her long after the moment passes. And let me tell you something else about this pain. It's not just emotional. It's physical. You see, when a woman loves deeply and her heart is shattered, her body reacts to it. She loses sleep, she loses appetite, she overthinks everything, and sometimes she even wonders if she did something wrong to deserve that kind of hurt. And it's not because she's weak, it's because she cared too much. And the deeper the love, the deeper the hurt. This isn't some shallow heartbreak you see in the movies. This is real life, real love, and real betrayal, and a good woman, she feels it in every fiber of her being. Now, here's where most men get it wrong. They think a good woman will just bounce back like nothing happened, that she'll forgive and forget just to keep them around. But that's not how it works. A good woman's pain is a teacher. It's a wake-up call. She learns from it. She studies the man who hurt her, she reflects on the choices she made, and she grows stronger. That pain becomes a fire inside her, a fire that makes her more aware of her value, more protective of her heart, and more careful about who she lets in next. And while you might see her smiling, while you might see her moving on, make no mistake, that pain, that heartbreak, it's etched into her soul. It shapes her decisions, her relationships, and the way she allows people to love her moving forward. And let me tell you something else. Sometimes that pain turns into silence. A good woman might stop talking to the man who hurt her. She might stop sharing her life, her joys, her struggles, and her dreams with him. She might withdraw emotionally. And that's not because she stopped caring. It's because she finally realized that protecting her heart is more important than proving a point to someone who didn't deserve it in the first place. And man, this is where you start to feel the consequences. Because when a good woman stops talking, stops giving, stops showing up, that's the moment you begin to see what you lost. That's the moment the pain you caused becomes your regret. You see, the pain a good woman carries is not just for herself. It's also a lesson for the man who hurt her. It teaches him, whether he realizes it or not, that love is not a game, that hearts are not toys to be broken and tossed aside. And while he might go on thinking he's gotten away with it, that pain lingers. It lingers in the way she moves on, in the way she no longer trusts easily, in the way she demands respect and value in future relationships. That pain shapes her, And if you're the man who caused it, eventually you'll realize that you've set yourself up to lose something far more valuable than you ever understood. And ladies, let me speak to you for a moment. When you've been hurt by someone you trusted, don't ignore the pain. Don't pretend it doesn't exist. That pain is real. It's valid. And it's a sign that you care deeply and love fully. Allow yourself to feel it, process it, and learn from it, because the stronger you become from that pain, the wiser you become in love, and the more likely you are to attract someone who truly deserves your heart. And fellas, if you ever heard a good woman, take note. The pain she carries is not something to be brushed off. It's something to respect, something to understand, and something that should make you reflect on your own actions before it's too late. Ladies and gentlemen, the pain a good woman carries when she's been hurt by someone she trusted is profound, it's transformative, and it's something that leaves a lasting mark. It shapes the rest of her life in ways you can't even imagine. So honor her heart, respect her love, value her trust, because when that pain exists, it's not just a story, it's a warning. A warning that good love is sacred, and when it's mistreated, the consequences will echo for a lifetime. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that a lot of men don't seem to fully understand. When a good woman is hurt, she doesn't react the way you might expect. She doesn't always yell. She doesn't always fight. And she sure as hell doesn't always beg for your attention. No, a good woman responds in ways that are quiet, powerful, and unforgettable. When she's hurt, she shows you exactly who she is without saying a word. She may choose strength over weakness, silence over arguments, and distance over drama. And if you don't recognize it, if you think she's just being passive, then you are the one missing the lesson of a lifetime. A good woman has this remarkable ability to protect herself, and when she's been hurt, that protection becomes her shield. She doesn't sit around hoping that someone who hurt her will change overnight. She doesn't waste her energy begging for apologies or explanations that won't come. Instead, she focuses on herself. She rebuilds her heart, her mind, and her life with quiet determination. And let me tell you, that's strength, real strength, because it takes courage to pick yourself up, to carry on, and to smile even when the weight of betrayal is heavy on your shoulders. It's easy to let pain consume you, but a good woman doesn't allow herself to be consumed. She uses it to fuel her growth. She lets it teach her, refine her, and make her smarter about love. Now, let me talk to you about silence. This is a response that many men misunderstand. A good woman might stop talking to the person who hurt her, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. She understands that some battles aren't worth fighting. She knows that sometimes the best response is to say nothing at all. Silence is her way of saying, I know my worth and I will not let you disrespect it. Silence is her way of protecting her heart while forcing you to reflect on what you did. And men, let me tell you, silence can be louder than any argument, louder than any shouting match. Because in that silence, she's telling you the truth about her boundaries, about her values, and about the fact that you can't treat her like she's disposable. And then there's distance. When a good woman chooses distance, it's not out of spite, it's out of survival. She steps away from toxicity. She steps away from someone who doesn't see her worth. She creates space so she can breathe, heal, and focus on herself without distraction. Distance is her way of saying, I deserve better, and I will not settle for less. And men, this is where many of you start to feel the consequences. Because when a good woman puts distance between herself and someone who hurt her, that's when you begin to realize the magnitude of what you've lost. She's not gone because she wants to punish you. She's gone because she finally values herself enough to walk away from what is harmful. But here's the thing that makes a good woman even more powerful. Her response is not about revenge. It's not about making you suffer or feel guilty. It's about reclaiming her life. It's about protecting her heart, her mind, and her future. She chooses strength so she doesn't get swallowed by pain. She chooses silence so she doesn't give power to someone who didn't deserve it. She chooses distance so she can focus on herself and her dreams. And men, if you don't pay attention to these signs, you will miss the warning. you will miss the reality that she is moving on in ways that leave you behind, wishing you could turn back time. A good woman's response is also about self-respect. She won't tolerate being treated poorly. She won't allow someone to disrespect her boundaries and expect her to remain the same. She knows her value and she enforces it with grace and dignity. That's why when a man hurts a good woman, it often hits him later, when he's looking around realizing the love, the loyalty, the support he took for granted is no longer available. Her response forces reflection. Her strength forces accountability. Her silence forces self-awareness. And her distance forces realization that love is not limitless. It has boundaries, and crossing them comes with consequences. Ladies and gentlemen, a good woman's response to being hurt is a masterclass in resilience. She doesn't need to make a scene to prove her worth. She doesn't need to yell to make a point. She doesn't need to beg to show her love. She simply stands firm, protects her heart, and moves forward with grace and strength. And let me tell you that is more powerful than any argument you could ever win, any apology you could ever offer, and any manipulation you could attempt. Because a good woman who has been hurt and responds with strength, silence, or distance is not just surviving, she's thriving. She's sending a clear message to the world: love me with respect or watch me rise without you. And men hear this loud and clear. When a good woman responds to hurt this way, it's not because she's cold or uncaring. It's because she's smart. It's because she knows her value. It's because she's protecting herself from repeating the same pain twice. And if you're wise, if you understand love at all, you will recognize that this response is her way of teaching you a lesson about respect, integrity, and what it means to truly value someone who loves you wholeheartedly. So remember this: a good woman's response to being hurt is never accidental. It's intentional, powerful, and life-changing for both her and the man who caused the pain. Strength, silence, distance, these are not weaknesses. They are weapons of wisdom. They are signs of self-respect. They are reminders that a woman who loves deeply and is hurt deeply will always rise above. And if you fail to recognize it, you will be left behind, wondering how someone so incredible could ever walk away from you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk to you about something that a lot of men don't realize until it's too late: the consequences of hurting a good woman. You see, when a man hurts a woman who truly loves him, he's not just causing her pain, he's setting himself up for a lifetime of regret, for missed opportunities, and for the realization that some things in life are simply irreplaceable. A good woman, she doesn't just walk away because she's weak or because she's fickle. She walks away because she recognizes her worth. And once she leaves, there's no turning back. And that's when the man begins to feel the weight of what he's lost. Let's be real, fellas. When a good woman leaves, it's not just a breakup, it's a wake-up call. It's a mirror that forces a man to face the truth about how he treated someone who loved him unconditionally. And when that mirror is in front of you, it can be a hard pill to swallow. You start thinking about all the time she showed up for you, all the sacrifices she made, all the patience she had with your mistakes. You begin to realize that what you had in front of you was rare. And the moment you hurt her, you let something extraordinary slip through your fingers. And let me tell you, that kind of loss doesn't go unnoticed. It lingers. It echoes. It haunts you in ways that cheap thrills or shallow relationships never will. Now let's talk about regret. Regret is a funny thing. It doesn't come immediately, and when it does, it hits harder than you ever expected. At first, you might brush it off. You might think she'll come back, or that you can fix it with a few words, a gift, or an apology. But a good woman isn't interested in cheap fixes. She's not looking for someone to manipulate her emotions or play catch-up with her heart. She's looking for respect, love, and loyalty, the things you failed to give. And when you realize that she's moved on, that she's thriving without you, that's when regret sets in. And it's not the kind of regret that can be solved overnight. It's a slow burning realization that you've lost someone who truly mattered, someone who loved you fully, someone who could have built a life with you in ways that few others ever could. And then there's self-reflection. Now, this is where the lesson gets real. A man who hurts a good woman eventually has to look at himself in the mirror and ask the hard questions. Why did I take her for granted? Why did I disrespect her? Why did I fail to see her value? And that self-reflection is painful because it forces honesty. And honesty is rarely comfortable. You have to face the truth about your own actions, your own choices, and your own failures. And let me tell you, that kind of reflection can be humbling. It can break a man down before it builds him back up. And for some, it's the first time they truly understand what it means to love someone unconditionally and to lose them because they didn't appreciate it. Here's the thing about consequence. As they're not just about the emotional impact, they ripple into every part of your life. When a good woman leaves, the man who hurt her loses not only her love, but her support, her guidance, her partnership, and her presence in his life. And no amount of regret can bring that back. He might try to find someone else to fill the void, but let me tell you, no one replaces a good woman who truly loved you. No one can match her loyalty, her patience, her heart. And that's the part that hits hardest, the realization that the person he mistreated was one of a kind, and now he has nothing but memories and what ifs. And don't think it stops there. The consequences of hurting a good woman often follow you into the future. You carry that regret with you. It shapes your relationships, your perspective on love, and your understanding of commitment. You start to see the difference between those who love you genuinely and those who tolerate you. You start to recognize patterns in your behavior and understand the damage you've done, not just to her, but to yourself. And that's a powerful lesson, albeit a painful one. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who hurts a good woman may feel he's in control in the moment, but life has a way of balancing itself. That man will eventually face the emptiness of his actions. He will realize that love isn't something to be toyed with. He will see that respect and loyalty are priceless, and that when you fail to honor them, the loss is permanent. He will understand too late that hurting a good woman is not just about breaking her heart. It's about breaking a connection that could have been the foundation of something extraordinary, something lasting, something life-changing. And here's what's even worse. Once she's gone, the man may spend years trying to fix what can't be fixed. He may attempt apologies, gestures, and explanations, but a good woman who's hurt and walked away is not easily swayed. She's stronger than you think, wiser than you believe, and she knows her worth. And that's the consequence that hits the hardest. Watching someone you hurt thrive without you, realizing that your actions cost you something you can never reclaim. So, men, understand this. The consequences of hurting a good woman are real. They are life-altering. They are a mixture of loss, regret, and harsh self-reflection that leaves no room for shortcuts or excuses. And if you're smart, you'll learn from it, not just for her, but for yourself. Because losing a good woman is a lesson you don't want to repeat. A reminder that love is not given lightly, and a warning that some opportunities once gone are gone forever. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that too many people don't fully grasp. Respect and value are the cornerstones of any relationship. And when it comes to a good woman, failing to give either can have consequences you'll regret for the rest of your life. I'm talking about a woman who loves with her whole heart, who sacrifices, who supports, who stands by you when no one else will. She is rare. She is precious. And the moment you take her for granted, the moment you fail to recognize her worth, you set yourself up for a loss so profound, it will shake you to your core. Respect her, value her, honor her while you can, because once a good woman realizes her worth and decides to walk away, there's no turning back. Now, respect is more than just saying I love you or being polite in front of people. Respect is about acknowledging her feelings, valuing her opinions, and honoring her heart. It's about treating her in ways that make her feel safe, appreciated, and cherished every single day. A good woman doesn't ask for perfection. She asks for honesty, integrity, and consideration. And when a man fails to provide that, when he dismisses her emotions, ignores her efforts, or takes her loyalty for granted, he's planting the seeds of regret in his own life. Because a woman who has been respected will stay, but a woman who has been disrespected, she will leave. And when she does, the loss is permanent. Valuing a good woman goes beyond respect. It's about recognizing her as an equal partner in life. It's about understanding that she brings so much more than love to the table. She brings wisdom, support, patience, strength, and heart. She builds you up when you're weak, encourages you when you're down, and pushes you to be better every day. She celebrates your victories and shares your burdens without complaint. And yet, some men fail to see this. They act as if her presence is optional, as if her sacrifices don't matter, as if her love is infinite and will remain no matter what they do. That kind of thinking is dangerous because it blinds a man to the reality that a good woman's heart is not disposable. Her time, her energy, her loyalty, they are all priceless. And failing to value them is a mistake you may never recover from. Here's the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Respect and value aren't things you show only when it's convenient. They're not gestures you say for special occasions. They're a daily practice, a constant effort, a conscious choice. Every word, every action, every decision you make communicates to a good woman whether she is truly appreciated. And if she senses that she is not, if she feels taken for granted, she will protect herself. She will step back, she will distance herself, and she will eventually leave. And that's when a man realizes too late that he lost someone irreplaceable because he didn't respect her, didn't value her, and didn't see her worth until she was gone. And let me tell you something else. Respecting and valuing a good woman is not just about keeping her in your life. It's about becoming a better man yourself. When you learn to honor her heart, when you learn to appreciate her loyalty, when you understand her sacrifices, you grow in ways you couldn't have imagined. You become more patient, more thoughtful, more understanding. You learn to communicate better, to listen more, to be present in ways that matter. You become a man worthy of the kind of love she gives freely and fully, but fail to see her worth, and all that growth is lost. Instead, you're left with regret, missed opportunities, and a painful lesson that may haunt you for the rest of your life. Think about this. A good woman doesn't just give love blindly. She gives it wisely. She invests in someone who respects her, values her, and treats her as the queen she is. When she's hurt repeatedly, when her loyalty is tested and disregarded, she learns a hard truth. That love without respect is not love at all. And men, here's the catch. By the time she leaves, she's usually done. She's built herself up, she's moved forward, she's stronger than she's ever been, and the window for redemption is often closed. What you had in front of you, the love, the trust, the support, cannot be replaced by empty promises or regrets. You can't rewind life. You can't reclaim the moment she gave you freely. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's the lesson. Respect and value a good woman while you have her. Don't wait for her to teach you the hard way. Don't wait until she walks away to realize that her love was a gift, not a guarantee. Treat her with the dignity she deserves every day. Listen when she speaks. Honor her heart. Celebrate her presence. Recognize her worth not just in words, but in actions, in consistency, in your commitment. Because the moment you fail to do so, the consequences will be irreversible. A good woman's heart is not a toy. It is not something to be manipulated, tested, or taken lightly. It is precious, it is rare, and it is powerful. Respect it, value it, protect it. Because when you do, you build a relationship that thrives, a love that lasts, and a life that is enriched in ways beyond measure. And if you fail, if you ignore her worth, you will learn a painful truth. Some gifts in life, once lost, cannot be reclaimed, and the regret of losing a good woman will follow you long after she has walked away, smiling, stronger, and wiser than you ever were.